The opinion that, Bill Belichick's got to come in and be pretty successful from year one. What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? Alan here, one half of the Hill Brothers, coming at you with a quick little video discussing my thoughts on who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Tar Heels in the 25-26 campaign. Then we'd like to get your thoughts, of course, on who you think will be leading the helm for the Tar Heels this year on the football field. In my opinion, there's three quarterbacks that can contend for the job. I'm not sure all three of these quarterbacks can win the job, and I'll give you these three names in no particular order. Max Johnson, Bryce Baker, and Gio Lopez, I think, are the three quarterbacks that will have the opportunity to compete for the quarterback, the QB1 position. Max Johnson is an interesting one for me. He has a ton of experience, and he's also coming off a horrific leg injury. We see a lot of the rehab videos that Max is going through. He's definitely put in the work. I'm not sure how much or how far he is behind with the new system that Bill Belichick is going to have put in place, as far as being able to put in the physical reps needed to be QB1. But Bill Belichick is, I'd like to think that Bill Belichick likes a game manager, for lack of a better words, at the QB spot. I mean, look at Tom Brady. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. He wasn't electric when it comes to scrambling and getting outside the pocket. But at the same time, he didn't take a lot of sacks. He knew when to get the ball out. He knew when to make the high-risk, high-reward throws and when not. Some of those qualities I can see transferring to Max. I'm not saying he's Tom Brady by any stretch of the means, but I can see some of the game manager qualities in Max that Bill would probably like in his quarterback. Bryce Baker, true freshman, excellent athlete, can scramble, can throw, but he's a true freshman. Can he slow the game down enough to not put the ball in jeopardy? Can he do the things on the field that Belichick is wanting him to do? Or is the game still moving a little bit too fast for him? Does he need to, take a back seat the first month or so to get, to watch the game from the sidelines, get accustomed to the speed of the game, the physicality of the game? Or can he just step right in and, just be magnificent? We saw Sam Howell, his first season under Mack Brown. He came in and was pretty successful as a true freshman quarterback. And then you got the transfer in Gio Lopez. He has experience. He has athleticism. He's able to throw the ball. So he has more experience than Bryce, less experience than Max. He can be explosive. He's got a lot of arm strength. I don't think he puts the ball in jeopardy, but I wouldn't put him in that game manager category. He has shown some ability to make the highlight reel plays when needed, and they brought him in out of the transfer portal. So Bill Belichick went out, scoured the country with Lombardi for a quarterback, and they brought Gio in. So does that mean Gio's the guy week one? Who knows? Well, I guess we'll see. I'm not a betting fella, but if I was a betting fella, and I wouldn't even put the house on it. But I think Gio is going to have a leg up because yes, they brought Bryce Baker in, highly talented quarterback in high school, top recruit in the country. Of course, you're going to bring him in. But I think Bill Belichick is of the thought process, along with the fan base, that he needs to win now. not later. He needs to win game 1. He needs to win game 2. He needs to win game 3 to get this season off to a hot start, to keep the media buzz going. Because if the Belichick experiment doesn't work, then do you lose the fan bases? Do you lose the fan base quicker with the Belichick experiment than you did with the Mac Brown experiment? And I'm of the opinion that, Bill Belichick's got to come in and be pretty successful from year 1 because he's Bill Belichick. I think the fan base wanted a younger coach. And I'm not saying Bill Belichick's not a big name, but a big name coach that you knew of from the college ranks, somebody that's done it in college. And Bill Belichick wasn't that. Of course, he's probably the greatest coach of all time in the NFL, but he hasn't done it at the college level. So my feeling is that Gio is going to march out against TCU. He's going to be QB1. He's going to give you the best chance to win games early in the season and, give Bryce Baker enough time to come along if and when he is ready, if he's able to sometime during the season outperform Lopez because his decision making's caught up, the game has slowed down for him, and he's probably just overall better QB than Gio. Unfortunately for Max, I don't see a path out barring an early injury to Gio and probably Bryce, because that'll be an interesting battle coming out of fall camp to see who slots in at the QB2 spot. I would expect Bryce to advance in that QB2 spot just because of his raw talent and ability to get it done on the field versus Max, who's coming off an injury and is probably playing catch up with the playbook and the on-field reps, physical conditioning, and all that, and his inability to go through spring practice. So barring some type, significant injuries, I don't foresee a chance. I foresee an opportunity for Max to, be at the helm unless it's in one of these non-con games in the third or fourth quarter and North Carolina's got like a 20, 25-point lead and, they're just wanting to get their backup some reps. That's just my opinion. I'm anxious to see you guys' opinions. I'm anxious to get Nathan's opinions. But for me, QB1 to start the season against TCU on Labor Day, I want to go with Gio Lopez coming out of South Alabama, trying to bring North Carolina some raging whatever. Well, I guess you can't call it raging Cajun. That's probably a Louisiana thing. But hopefully he can bring some spice to the QB room in 2025. All right. Well, that's all for me. We'll wait on Nathan's rebuttal. But for me, as always, let's go Heels. Go to hell, Duke. Steak. You're just a bunch of whining dogs. We'll put y'all back in the pound this year. Yippee.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in to the Sunday Tar Heel. Why is it over here? That's where it needs to
Whoa!
be.
Hey, there we
There
go.
we go. Hey, what's
Let me
going
get
on,
this down
everybody?
here.
How's everybody going today?
Let me
Nathan
get
and
this
Alan
down
here.
here.
We are your Hill brothers, and welcome into the Sunday Tar Heel. We're live, baby. We are live.
Live in
L-I-V-E.
action.
Yes, sir. You're all bright in the background. Look at you go. You got some light in there, a husband, the UNC hat, the new
Hey, man,
baseball
look,
hat.
look. You wouldn't think traffic in Lancaster would be terrible. So
Yeah.
I left Wagon Wheel with 20 minutes before it was 45.
Right.
I pulled in the driveway because there was a car in front of me that turned in front of me, like cut me off to turn on the Grace Avenue to come down the back way, and then presumed to do like 35 the entire way down Grace Avenue.
That's awesome, dude. That is good stuff, man. I caught lunch
And I had
then
nothing
I
set
got
up.
back as fast as I possibly could. And I completely forgot to send you an invite until you sent me a text.
Yeah.
I got to thinking, I was like, man, it's getting close to time. Why isn't he joining? About the time, ding! I'm like, oh shoot, I haven't sent him an invite yet. But you let us in. Your video put us in to this thing, man. We played that before. We went live about 15 minutes ago and played that on the way in so you guys could kind of get an idea. Some of the topics we're going to be talking about today, because Alan mentioned me in that thing. So he called me out and told me that I needed to respond to.
Is the light too much? So do I need to do something with the blinds?
It is a tad bit bright. I would say bring the blinds down like a smidge or up. I don't know which way. I think it looks like you got them like up. Yeah, bring them down. Yeah, maybe just yeah. Maybe we will see. We'll see how that works. That actually might be good. Yeah. I think that might be. Oh Jesus!
You saw that?
Yeah.
Do I need to just fully close them?
That might not be the best thing, but no, man. This is something that we want to start doing for you guys. On a Sunday, give you guys an opportunity to come out here and have a good time, and let's start creating that community and just get everybody out here and put them in the comments. So any comments that come through is going to be shown right there next to Alan's face.
Nice.
So you guys can obviously comment in if you want to. When they start coming in, we'll do that. But yeah, dude. So Sundays, it's a relaxing day, man. You enjoy yourself and have a good time, and get ready for some. Yeah, the hat's a little. Yeah. Oh
dude,
no,
it's the baseball hat, bro. It's so flimsy. It's so like I love the baseball hat, but it is so flimsy. It does not.
Yeah, I have to do the same thing with mine.
Trying to do this in the camera is retarded.
Yeah.
No,
but Alan, you did a video for us this past week talking about the quarterback race. Thought you did a good job on that. You brought up some interesting points in there with Max, Gio, and also Bryce Baker. That video's gone live, and seemingly everybody seems to like it so far. But you asked me what my thoughts were. Quickly, briefly, go back over that real quick. What are your thoughts on the quarterback race that you brought up there?
I was in the middle of a conversation with a 6-year-old and kind of missed out. I heard quarterback race. My thoughts on the quarterback race? Is that what you asked?
Yeah, just a brief kind of summary of what you talked about the other day.
My thoughts was I stated that it's weird to call Tom Brady a game manager, but he was an elite one. So I'd be interested to see how Bill Belichick goes with that, and the game manager kind of lends itself to Max Johnson, more or less. He's not real flashy. He doesn't seem real explosive. He doesn't have the affinity to want to hold on to the ball forever to hit the home run. And he's not he's not really what you would consider an elite dual threat quarterback. Bryce Johnson and Gio, on the other hand, are. Bill Belichick has been on record the best players are going to play. So we'll see. I don't think Belichick brings in Lopez to sit him on the bench behind a Johnson or Bryce. So my thoughts going in, unless something just dramatic changes over fall camp and just either Bryce or Johnson just completely outshine Gio, and Gio's just unable to do what Bill wants him to do efficiently, then I just expect Gio to be the guy to start the season. Maybe not finish the season, but start the season.
Yeah, I've actually heard somebody say. I think Tar Heel Ron, one of our good buddies, mentioned that as well. That he thought that Gio would start the season, but Bryce would finish it. So I know that's been a big time conversation. But for me, as my rebuttal to the thing, to me, everybody's been asking about Max Johnson in there to see what he would do, to see where he is in his recovery. We see the videos, we see these different things, which is good. It's good to see that he's been up and available to play. And my thought process is Max Johnson, you bring in Gio Lopez to give yourself more options. You lost Ryan Brown. You've got a true freshman in Bryce Baker. Max Johnson, a guy that we don't know if he's even going to be able to play. So that, and you also lost Mike Merdinger, and you lost a couple of guys in the quarterback room there. So no Jacoby Criswell, of course. So I think you brought in Gio because his potential is up there for sure. But you brought him in to give yourself, number one, the potential looks awesome. He had a great year last year at South Alabama, playing against some pretty decent teams at times, LSU being I think the top tier team that they played. And he shows a lot of potential. But there would still be a quarterback race anyway. And I do think that there is a 3-person quarterback race between Max, Gio, and Bryce. Now, where my thinking is with Bill Belichick. I have to agree with one of Allen's statements in there when he said, I think, and all of us would agree with this, that Bill's of the mindset. Will he say it out loud? No, because we've heard multiple times it's got to be a process and this, that, and the other thing. Hello, Bryson. It's got to be a process and everything else. But Bill knows just as well as anybody. Bill and the entire staff knows that just, no matter what, that they have to win now. With the schedule that they've got, outside of the Clemson game, the UCF game possibly, NC State because it's a rivalry, Duke will also see because it's a rivalry, you really don't have a scary schedule. It is a schedule that favors you heavily. That's why I thought going into it, my expectations with how Bill Belichick agreed to, or Bill Belichick brought in all the pieces that he did, that they shouldn't win. They shouldn't win anything less than 9 games. That was my opinion. 8 potentially. We'll see. But with the quarterback race, I don't see Bryce being a factor this year. I don't. Matter of fact, the quarterback room for North Carolina moving forward is going to get very interesting because you got Travis Burgess coming in next year, and Travis has shown himself to be pretty daggum good. So that's going to be interesting. You brought Gio in. Gio last year was his true freshman year. This is his true sophomore year, which is great. He played both. You're going to have potentially 3 top-tier guys next year. Gio, Bryce, and Travis. I don't think you can be able to keep all 3 of them, that's for sure, because they're going to overlap too closely. For this year, I'm of the thought process that Gio Lopez is going to be your guy starting this year. And I'm actually going to, this is a teaser for a video. I told you I was excited about this. I haven't told you what it is yet, but you guys are going to get this tomorrow.
Oh,
is Gio Lopez the next Sam Howell? And I'll explain that within the context of that video. Take it on the face of it, and then it's going to be further fleshed out as it goes. But I think it could be fun. I think Gio is a guy that shows a lot of promise. And to what you were mentioning with like game managers and things of that nature, and the Brady comparison, if you will. If I'm Bill, you won a lot with Brady, 100%. You won 6 championships with the fella. Great. Different style of football was played. Different style. The pocket passer quarterback was hot. That's no longer the case anymore. Edge rushers are getting faster. Defensive linemen are getting stronger, quicker, twitchier hands. They're able to get to the quarterback. If you're a pocket passer in today's NFL, look at Kirk Cousins. You're going to get lit up. And I think if you're Bill, you understand this, and that's why
you hope he understands this.
Right. You have to understand, and I think he does because he brought in Gio Lopez, and he also brought in Ryan Brown, and Ryan Brown was also a dual threat kind of guy. So the guys that he brought in are dual threat people. Max is obviously a guy that you're going to look at because Max is not a dual threat per se, but we saw in the Minnesota game he's got some wheels.
North Carolina needs a Josh Allen.
Huh?
North Carolina needs a Josh Allen.
And you're hoping that Bryce Baker could potentially be that. Bryce Baker is the prototype of the future for Carolina and what Bill wants to do. That's why his first phone call when he got into the office was, let me make sure Bryce is coming to my team still, because that was up in the air. So with him coming in, I think Bill obviously understands like what the last Super Bowl that they went to, who did they have to beat in order to get there? Young Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game. And it came down to a field goal kick, I believe it was, to win that game, to send them, right? And then after that, they didn't win again. That was over with. Eventually, Brady goes to Tampa, and the rest is history. Here we are. So Belichick understands. I 100% believe that he gets it, and I'm curious to see exactly how they use it. But I think Gio's going to be your guy, and I don't believe that Gio is going to be the guy unless he does horribly. Now that's a different stick. Unless he's benched because of bad play, Gio, in my opinion, barring injury and also barring just inability to be effective, he's going to be your starter all year. I don't see them putting in Bryce Baker unless it's in a situation like you mentioned. They're up 25. It's a late third quarter, early fourth quarter. Let's go get some young guys in there and let them play a little bit. Then I think you could see Bryce. But they're going to I think they're going to redshirt Bryce easily. And you see what happens with Gio, because Gio could technically, he would have to play this season, and then depending on the season that he has, he could be draft eligible. Some people may want him. You never know.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. We saw, you see it happen all the time. So,
and I think that's the thing that is going to work in North Carolina's favor, is that I think Bryce's family has stated, he doesn't necessarily have to come in and be the guy day one.
Right.
We're okay with him watching a year, because if you're a legit QB talent, you can be a redshirt junior and still be draft eligible and only have 2 seasons of play. That's Drake May.
Right.
Drake May played was at North Carolina for 3 years, but only got 2 because he was behind Sam Howell his final year. And we saw,
and there were times that Sam's got or Drake got to play, like the Wofford game and some in the bowl game.
So I think that benefits North Carolina when they brought in Gio, is because, and it helped Gio. It probably gave Gio some confidence or assurance that, hey, I'm not necessarily, I can come in and be the guy, because the actual guy is probably just going to wait a season.
Yeah.
So he can come in, do his thing. And that don't mean he gets a free pass, because Bryce can play 4 games before he burns the red shirt.
Right.
So
4 and a bowl game. He can play 4 in a bowl game.
So, I mean, Gio's got to come in and perform, and he can quite easily be yanked. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't see. Again, and it's all kind of depends on the player that Gio will be. Obviously, he is moving up a level from G5 in the Sun Belt with South Alabama up to Power 4. He's going to be playing Power 4 teams week in and week out, and he wasn't doing that. He did play LSU this past year, played really good. He's had some really good games, but for the most part, I think that that if you're North Carolina, you're 100% going to be going with Gio, unless Max just looks better. I think he's going to put the best guy out there, and if all else fails, if Bryce Baker just lights it up in fall camp and he just looks like the best guy, then you're going to roll with him. But I believe that Gio will be that best guy because he does have the experience. He may not have the upside of a Bryce Baker, but you do not want to stick him out there, and because it's different when live bullets start flying. You know, we saw that with Connor Harrell last year. Harrell in springtime looked great. I watched that spring game. Connor Harrell looked awesome, man. It looked like he was on it. He was game playing. And then Max goes down midway through the third quarter in Minnesota, and you walked outside, and he took the field, and the camera shot was directly like eye line with him, where you could see him. And me and you both were sitting here, and you could see the look of just, oh my God, these are big boys. Like it's happening. It's happening. And we saw how rushed it was, and you're starting off TCU prime time, just like they did last year. But, Carolina was a Thursday night game. It was the first game of the season. North Carolina, Minnesota. Here we go. And prime time. And now you're not on the road, which helps, but you're in your stadium. Belichick's there. The national world is looking upon you. You will be on First Take the next day. You will be on Get Up the next day. You will be on Scott Van Pelt that night. Your game is going to be talked about over the next week after it's played, because it's Belichick. It's his first game. What's happening?
I'll rebuttal that. Will the football team be the talk, or will be the success and failure of Belichick be the talk? I think Belichick is such a big figure that the heat for the success or failure this season will be squarely on his abilities. It'll be his abilities that are questioned, not the players or that. I think the players this season will get a free pass. Not from Belichick. They're not going to get a free pass from Belichick. They'll get a free pass from the national folks.
Yeah. It'll be this first year will be 100%.
Sorry, okay.
Oh yeah, well it'll be this year will be definitely, will Belichick be able to is he able to field a team? Can he recruit? This, that, and the other thing. That's going to be, why isn't he coaching better? Or it's crazy how great he's coaching. It's going to be centered around him, and it's going to be centered around him, the schedule in which we play, the opponents in which we play. Because if there's success, it's, well, they didn't really play anybody outside of Clemson, and we expect Clemson to be good. And the ACC's weak, and this, that, and the other thing. If they lose, it's going to be, wow, Belichick can't coach. He's lost a step. He can't recruit. The college level has proved to be too hard for him. He can't adapt. He can't adapt to the kids. And also, they play in a weak conference. How in the world could he not win? This, that, and North Carolina is not a football school; it's a basketball school. That's what you're going to hear. Stuff like that. You're going to hear that all year round. It's not going to be a get ready, because this is the way this thing's going. This cookie's going to crumble this way. Carolina will not be praised at all this year. at all.
No, it'll be Belichick.
Belichick won't even be praised.
No,
Belichick might be praised if they go and get into win the ACC. Carolina's going to have to get into the college football playoff and go win a game.
You think Belichick gets Coach of the Year if they make the ACC championship?
If they make the ACC championship, it will depend on the rest of the league.
If he takes North Carolina to the ACC championship, is Bill Belichick voted ACC Coach of the Year?
ACC Coach of the Year? Yeah, probably so. I could see that, unless Dabo Swinney just has a great year and just is undefeated ACC champions. No problem. That would be my thing, because Carolina and Clemson are going to face that matchup is set. They will face each other before if it's even possible, ACC championship game would be there, because I'm of the mindset that Clemson's going to be in that thing. You can pencil it in unless they have crazy injuries or something like that. But I think they'll be there.
Because isn't Klubnik back?
Mm-hmm.
Klubnik's back.
This is his last year. This is his last year. And people think he's going to be one of the best 5 quarterbacks in the country. I'll wait and see on that. I like Cade, but I think Cade's at his height right now. Like, he's not going to get any better. This is Cade Klubnik. That's just me. So I guess
they always have a good defensive line.
Oh yeah, their defensive line is absolutely outstanding, dude. It's great, bro. But
I think I heard Staples say that their DB, their two outside coverage guys are pretty elite too.
That seems to be a consistent thing for them. A big time consistent thing for them. And they brought in that
Ellen for North Carolina.
Yeah, that's the game that you don't pick them to win, but you just pick them to have a good game and hopefully have a good game. I want it to be, that kind of contest against Clemson that we had that first year when Matt came back, that kind of matchup, and then just let the end play out how it's going to play out. That's what I
saw replays of that last play, the 2-point conversion for North Carolina win. Mm-hmm. And everybody that the person I watched it from suspected that was a QB option, either to hand it off or pull it. And they showed if Sam would have just handed it off, that they would. I can't remember who the running back was.
Vontae.
Would he'd have just walked in? Just walked in.
Yeah, it's a sad day. I remember that game very vividly.
That was the day of the where was I at? I was in South Carolina for a game. I don't know why I was going to the South Carolina game. And I we was watching it in the condo right outside our Booster, whatever. They had a condo literally right outside the stadium. And we was watching it in the condo or whatever. And you could just, as soon as Clemson made that tackle or whatever they did at the end of the play, the collective fan base around Williams-Brice just like, oh, you could just like that, because they had the patio doors and everything open to the outside. And like when North Carolina scored, the place went crazy. And then they just yeah.
Man, that's crazy. The whole South Carolina fan base turned Tar Heel. I guess I know who the real Carolina is.
I do not know why I was there.
Well, now you said you've been to a game out there before.
I've been to a Clemson, South Carolina game.
Yeah.
And wore a black hoodie with an orange check.
Oh, you want to know something crazy I found out the other day?
What's that?
So the people I work for, they're actually one of the head directors on the booster club for them.
For the Gamecocks?
Yeah. And we may have to work some of their events down there. Which means I've heard that I might have to wear apparel. I've already said not happening. Won't happen. So I think we're fine. But I have been told, because if that happens, I tell you this much, I will do like LeBron and DeMar DeRozan had to do when they were in the Drew League, and they like took electrical tape and put electrical tape over the logo that they had there, because it was like it wasn't a Nike brand. I think it was like Under Armour or something like that. And they took electrical tape and they, like, how you doing it, bro? I will wear a North Carolina thing in a heartbeat over there. I will jaw back and forth with those people. I actually wear I wear a lot of my Carolina stuff to work every day, and people see it, so they know what's up. You ain't converting me, and not happening, Captain.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't playing this game.
That's wild. I could never. I couldn't either,
dude. I absolutely couldn't. I could not do it. Which, as a matter of fact, there's another video idea that I will send to you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll want to do it. I think you'll want to do it. So it's going to be a fun one. But yeah. So I'm of the opinion Gio's the guy. Gio's the guy. I think Gio should be the guy, and I think he's going to do good, man. You know, we'll see. I'm very curious to see how he does, but he seems like a really cool, calm, collected. To me, he kind of seems like the mindset and the personality of a Jalen Hurts. Yeah, that makes sense. Personality. I'm not talking about on the field. I'm talking about the way he conducts himself and the way he handles himself. And with like Jalen Hurts, when he's on the field, to me, this is just me, I think that he does a really good job of being really cool, calm, and collected on the field. But it's just like he's a quiet confident, a very quiet confident, and I feel that with Gio, you know. And he seems like he's got a little bit of that killer instinct in him, man. You know, South Alabama didn't do too bad. I don't think they were very good defensively at all. So he's already getting broke in with that early, because until Carolina has a defense, Carolina never fields a defense. So we'll see what happens this year. But I am really excited to see what happens there. I'm actually really excited for football season in general, and also the potential return of the Navy Blues.
Yeah,
that is a legit thing. Evidently, that is a real possibility this year. That I think it was Sidelines UNC, something like that, said like, "Hey, we know some people that know some things." And I'm like,
well, I mean, that had to be a discussion. That had to be a discussion between Bubba and Bill, because Bubba was absolutely against it. I mean, when you turn on the TV and see Navy Blue, you don't think Carolina. Bubba's whole mindset, when you turn on the TV and you're just scrolling through the channels and you see North Carolina blue and white, you automatically know who that is. If you just see Navy blue and white, or Navy blue with UNC blue accents, like kind of like something like you got on right there, and you're just boo-bopping through the channel, you're not really sure that you're not 100% sure that it's North Carolina. So,
I don't like that.
It's a recognizable.
I don't like that. I think that's an excuse in my opinion, because you gonna know who the heck who's playing. You know, it's not like I'm scrolling through the channels and I don't know who that is. There's a ticker down there. There is logos on the field. There's everything.
Yeah,
and you'll never see Navy blue worn outside of Kenan Stadium. You know, it would be a home jersey, and you've got the field, the newly grass field. I
think Lombardi did have a good point that players much prefer to play on grass than artificial turf.
Yeah, I've never been a sporting athlete. You know, you played soccer when you were little, but I was never on sports. But walking on turf feels weird compared to walking on grass, everyday normal grass. And I can understand now when it comes to the injury things. Again, I've never played on it, so I don't know. But I'll take their word for it when they say, injuries tend to happen less often on grass than they do on turf.
Because the grass will give. You can tear grass. You can't tear artificial turf. So
That's true.
when you plant on artificial turf, your foot you can only go so far.
Right.
But you can plant on grass and the grass will give. 1 second.
Huh. I didn't think about it like that, but that is true. That is 100%. Yeah. So not only that, there is a push for people to play on grass, and that's what athletes want to play on. So hey, give it to them, man. Give it to them. Let them play on the grass. Let them do the turf from time to the turf looks good. And that was one of the biggest things that I was worried about. It's like, man, North Carolina's field looks immaculate, and I love the way it's done. I love our field. I love it so much. I love walking out on a game day, coming through the concourse, walking in through the tunnel, and then just opening up and seeing that big blue heaven. And to know that we're still gonna have that. Because we saw the paint job, it's staying the Carolina blue in the end zones and everything like that. Right there is what excites the living daylights out of me. I love that to death, and I'm glad that's going to be able to stay. I'll help them paint if they want to. Heck, I don't care, man. I'll do whatever. I'll go up there and help them no matter what, to try and make sure that stadium keeps the way that it is. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Carolina does with the game day atmosphere. That's a conversation for us to have at a time, because the game day atmosphere for North Carolina, I thought, took an uptick last year with things that they have going on, like the Blue Zone block party, not Blue Zone block, but the Bell Tower block party, the little Coca-Cola fan zone, fan fest, all that good stuff they had going on out there. It gave you something to go hang around. And one of the biggest conversations that there has been at North Carolina when it comes to game day atmospheres is tailgating. We went to Clemson, not last year before last, when Drake May and the Tar Heels went up there to face them in Clemson, and rolling up into that area and seeing all the vehicles everywhere that were tailgating and this, that, and the other thing. It was ridiculous. Carolina doesn't have that. And, seeing them maybe attempt to try and work on that is something I'm looking forward to seeing this year. I'll look forward to see what they come up with. I think they should bring back the block party. We met Marquise Williams there last year.
Ramsey.
Ramsey
twice. The actual goat.
Yeah, the real goat. And they had food and
the
drink,
Dalai Lama of sorts.
Yeah, they had food and drink in the Coca-Cola fan zone, where you get a Coca-Cola, Coke Zero, I think it was. One of my favorite beverages.
With your name on it.
With your name on it and everything else, man. So I think that was something really cool that they did last year.
Can. Yeah,
that's it.
Fun.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing
this year, though.
So what?
No, said I won't be experiencing it this year. So
I know it's crazy, man. Been able to, these last few years, going to a lot of games that were fun, been to a few games that were not so fun, and now this year it's like, I don't think I'm going to get to go to one at all, which is saddening, to say the least. But I've been able to go to the last few years and enjoy and have fun. Yeah, it's a new experience, a new time, but that just leaves it open to some more watch parties. I'm looking forward to that. And then we got a big one coming up for TCU. TCU is going to be a big one for us.
We're going to cook some porterhouses?
Sure. I don't care. Let's do it.
Some T-bones?
Yeah, I'm good with anything, man. I'm actually coming up with a diagram of how I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to have multiple cameras set up. And that way we can just kind of alternate between them. And that should be fun. Super fun. But hopefully you guys enjoy that, man. Got any video ideas for this week, man? So many.
There's just so many going on in my mind. They're just all circulating, and I can't find one won't go filter down the chute to let you know.
I tell you one thing, it's not North Carolina related, but it's Carolina related. Coastal better wake up today. That's a tough series, dude. Them and LSU.
That's good. I didn't watch it. That was a good game. That
I
one mistake
watched
where
vast
homeboy got
majority of
thrown
it.
out at third base. Yeah, you can't slide off the base. Not in that situation. You can't slide off
Yeah.
the base and get tagged out. That's
His
unfortunate.
momentum was just carrying the living daylights out of him. And
You know who would never do that?
who?
Kane Kebley.
He wouldn't.
Joker
He wouldn't do that.
slides like a hot knife through butter, son. There's like videos just dedicated watching Kane sliding the bases, and it's just like a daggum ballerina dancer out there on the base paths.
Really?
Dude, it's insane. Like, I guess he's just so fast, and the momentum he carries and the way he's able to like twist and twirl and just stand up on the base path like he was standing there the whole time. It's ridiculous. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's staying with us, man. I really do hope he stays with us.
I haven't heard how he did at the MLB draft combine.
When was that? Do you know when that was?
This week.
Dang, that happened really fast. I didn't realize that. Also, Game 7 of the finals tonight, man.
Oh yeah,
I am definitely going to be keeping an eye on that.
Will you?
I will, sir. I have really enjoyed watching the finals this year. Both teams have played great. This has probably been one of the better finals that we've had in the last few years, outside of maybe Golden State and the Celtics. That was good. And actually, I did like the Bucks and Suns too. That was a fun series. I was glad to see the Bucks get that one in Giannis. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens tonight as well. And man, we've only got, I think, 10 Saturdays from yesterday until football season. So surely enough, I mean, we got fall camp coming up pretty soon. Then we'll have ACC Media Day. Then we'll have, the couple more things to get ready for the actual football season itself. Obviously, the basketball team is into their training, one of their training camps. I think they're doing something. They're working out like crazy right now. And Vin Allen Lubin won a Wolfpack Standard Player of the Week over there. Go Vin.
Hey. Dalton Pence plays for the Hickory Crawdads.
Really?
Yep.
Looky there.
Vance Honeycutt plays for the Aberdeen Ironbirds.
Didn't Vance come up to the Orioles a couple of times this year?
This year, I'm not sure about this year. I don't know. He's A+. He's in the Orioles. He's still in the Orioles organization.
Yeah, I think he got called up a couple of times this year. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that he did as well. So I don't know. We'll have to double check on that. That is actually, I'm gonna look at it right now. Vance Honeycutt Orioles. Here we go.
Oh man, I saw confirmed transfer portals and it just said Boaz, and I was like, not Fulcher.
No, that would hurt.
Harper.
That would hurt 100%.
Reese Holbrook, he's going to Charleston. Harrison Lewis is going to Campbell. Mason Yoakum's going to the Citadel. That's the only three that's found places. And I haven't.
Yeah, he's still over there with them for sure. He's doing great. But North Carolina's a very happening place around this time of year. Very happening. Portal.
Yeah, it's so busy. So busy.
You got transfer portal. We've got all kinds of other stuff going on right now. We are gearing up for you guys for the football season. That's going to be fun. really looking forward to getting there and doing a few different things this year as well. But there's one more thing I think that it's time for us to do. And I wanted to make this a little bit more special because I think it's actually a pretty cool little thing. Over the last shoot, what do you say right now? A few months. It's ever since we started the Hill Brothers. I'll put it this way: I've wanted something that we can be identified with. You know, a logo, a brand, just something
one
that.
more thing before you. One more thing before you. North Carolina's got a pitcher coming in from Catawba Ridge.
Cool. But something that it's going to be able to be identifiable with us. And there's been a lot of thought behind it. What?
I was pump it up, pump it up. I wasn't going to sing it. I was just singing in my head, and I was getting pumped up for this big reveal you was doing, and you just hit the brakes. You cut the volume down.
I have no idea what you were doing. Just making noises at this point in time, sir. Anywho, while he does that, a number, I think was back in January or so like that, we did a brand new logo, the logos you guys see all the time. Now with us, this beautiful thing. There you go. That thing right there. You see it all the time.
It's so good.
And it's time to change it up. I want something that's going to be really. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just. You just keep going. This is a crescendo. We get into it.
There's no crescendo for this, but we're going to end this thing off on this way. On this way right here. Okay, so the Sunday Tar Heel. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. Every Sunday from here on out, we're going to be doing one of these things. As more stuff happens, obviously, there'll be information. The shows will get a little bit longer as more information, more events, more things of that nature. Be sure and tune in this week throughout the week to see different videos that are going to be coming out. Gio Lopez could potentially be the next Sam House coming out to you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be kind of explaining that one to you guys a little bit. Just a thought process
on that one.
Yeah, he could just just a little thought process to go through. And it's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to that, and another one that I'll actually tell you once we're at it here. That I think would be kind of cool for us to do for maybe
behind the scenes. Y'all don't get to see.
Like anyway, so thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And to end it off, we're going to end it off with a little bit of music as always. But a brand new reveal for a brand new logo that I am excited about, and I think that just kind of encapsulates everything together. We are the Heel Brothers, and we love our Tar Heels, and we want us to be identified with those Tar Heels. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being here. And as always,
go Heels.
Heels.